ready to fight, standing tall, doing what's right, shining truth like a firelight. Daddy's wisdom running deep taught me promises I gotta keep, breaking chains, leaving pain behind, calling out the crooked kind. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies, no more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin, spawn trooper rides again. Ain't no fear when I'm around, justice stands on solid ground. One last chance to make it right, or face the reckoning tonight. In the dark where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell, standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies, no more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin, spawn trooper rides again. Dark where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell, standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies, no more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin, spawn trooper rides again.
Warning: the following video contains strong language, which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only. Thank you for your attention. Warning: the following video contains strong language, which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only. Thank you for your attention. And a jolly good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. I hope that everyone is doing fine. And you are, one second. Let's get this going here. All right. I hope that you can hear me. And I hope that you are going to enjoy today's stream. Right, first things first, today's topic is going to be about mental health labels, online bullying, and everything else that we can think of. Now, when I was serving, at one point in my service, I decided to become a BCDT instructor. Now you think, well, hang on a minute, what's a BCDT instructor? Battlefield Casualties Drills Trainer. That's what a BCDT instructor is. What we do, we teach soldiers how to apply first aid, advanced first aid, to be perfectly honest with you, how to use Celox. Celox is a blood clotting agent, or cloth. It's like a bandaging gauze, which you push into a wound. But besides all that, how to save limbs, how to apply a tourniquet, we're also trained about stress awareness. Now, this is old information. This is back from in 2019. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to read this out to you. I'm not going to show you, because obviously it belongs to His Majesty's government, but you'll get a gist. Stress awareness. Stress is a physical and mental change, and mental changes we feel when we can't cope with something in our lives. We often feel stress in response to situations that challenge us. And this can be a good thing. Stress can be motivating and help improve our performance if it's managed well. But we often have to deal with stress from multiple sources, such as work, home, family, health, and finance. And one second, what is this? 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 What is going on here? Please hold for a second. This thing doesn't like me at all. 1 second, please, Paul. I've got so much to cover today. Not working. Anyway. 1 second. 1 second, please. You just can't win today, can you? One second, please. 1 second. Oh, yes. It's all very common. Everything's going a little bit. Yeah. Oh, my God. Right, I hope that's not too loud. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. When stress builds up or isn't managed, it can be harmful to our health. Do you know what? I don't think playing music. I'll listen to music when I'm playing games, but not talking about not over this. Right. Okay, so what happens when we are stressed? When we are in a situation that is challenging or stressful, it can trigger a response in our bodies. This causes hormones to surge throughout our body to help us be alert and focused and to manage the situation. Could also be called adrenaline. Right. This can be a good thing when it's short-lived and there is a chance to relax afterwards. So basically adrenaline. However, when a stress goes on for a long time, we don't have a chance to fully relax afterwards. We can become exhausted over time. These psychological changes can then harm our health. Now, when you're in the field or you're on a battlefield or you're in operational theaters, you are always under stress, always, regardless of who you are, what rank you are, what job you got, you're always under stress. Okay. Multiple reports and, agree on, when we were in Iraq or in Afghan, yeah, you got green on blue, blue on blue, it happens. Okay. And unfortunately, when stuff like green on blue happens, sometimes it can destroy trust, and that's one of the levels of stress. Okay, and that's the same thing. Obviously, when shit like this happens, it affects people. But I can assure you today, this is going to get very deep, because before I carry on, I'm going to explain why I'm doing this stream today and why I don't really care if I'm going to name people or not. Doesn't matter. The relevant part is the mental health side of it, the way people are behaving. And over the 9+ months, I've been observing everything that's been going on with Jeremy Hills, George, and everything else, and also about the anti-what the hell's ecosystem and other people who have latched onto the coattail and basically trying to brown nose their way into publicity, clout, whatever you want to call it. Now, some people do it deliberately because they want that attention. Some people do it because they got nothing else to do. They've got nothing. If you turn the computer, the internet off, or anything else off, they will have nothing. Okay. And we're also going to be covering, obviously, a lot of members of the armed forces, especially over here in the UK. There's a place called Combat Awareness, and that is an organization where people can, people of the members of the armed forces can go. We've got SAFA, we've got the Royal British Legion, we've got the Benevolent Fund, we've got different variations of places where people can go. All right. And we've also got service animals as well. However, that we're going to bring on two different things, which reminds me, I forgot. 1 second, please. Just bear with me a second. I just need to find something. Where is it? I know I sent it to someone, but I need to remember. It's basically, it is the description, the difference between a service animal and an emotional support animal. And I've come across a guy here in the here we go. Is this there we go. There's a guy over here. He's actually works on a farm. Believe it or not, he works on a farm, and his emotional or his service animal or emotional animal, service support animal, is a horse. Go figure. And it's an old racehorse that's retired. And usually when horses become injured or they get too old, they usually, unfortunately, they euthanize them. But this guy has kept his horse. His horse is obviously fairly old. And he's got he's got an official service animal. But we're going to come on to that, because it's all about mental health and mental stability. All this comes under one umbrella. Now, going back to this stress awareness. Stress can look and feel different for everyone. Over time, daily hassles and work pressures can gradually wear us down, and the signs and symptoms can often develop within us being fully aware of them until they become severe. You might start going through each day somewhat mindlessly, living on the autopilot and doing things by force of habit, like getting up, making a coffee, sitting there, looking at nature, looking at the neighbor, just contemplating letting his tires down or whatever. All right. And you may start experiencing physical symptoms like poor sleep or stomach pains. Now, just because you get a stomachache, does that mean you've eaten something wrong? I mean, headaches, migraines, pressure behind the ear or the eye. Sorry, this is could it be stress, causing stress or something? You'd be very surprised if you actually do the research and you actually listen. You'll be very surprised of what you can find. Now, a lot of people are fully aware that I did a counselor's course. So in part, I do have somewhat qualifications. Having the qualifications of 10 years plus of being a BCDT instructor, training other adults, and also a counseling course, I do have an experience. However, don't forget, I am not a psychologist. I can only go by what I am actually qualified in or trained in. And you have to understand that not everyone can sit there and discuss this. Just because you've been diagnosed doesn't mean that you are qualified to then diagnose. Does that make sense? Right? I mean, like, I've been diagnosed. Does that qualify me to diagnose what I've got? No. But I understand the symptoms. I know the symptoms, and I know how to handle those symptoms. But that's going to bring me on to a topic about certain other people who have stated that they suffer from PTSD. Of course, people suffer from PTSD. PTSD is, in the name itself, post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay? It's the beef is in the boot. Right? If you listen to the words, I'll say it again. Post-traumatic stress disorder. However, members of the military, members of the fire brigade, police service, the EMS, ambulance service, okay, they deal with a complete different level of post-traumatic stress. However, they're still humans, and people go through similar stress levels. However, with the regimented or institutionalized people, it's different. But when someone says that they've got post-traumatic, unless they've been diagnosed with it, it's self-labeling, which we're going to come on to later in this topic. It's going to be an interesting one today, ladies and gentlemen. At some point, when we have an intermission, you can fire away questions, or you can talk to yourself, talk to each other while you're talking, while this is going on. Please interact with each other. Please, feel free to communicate with each other. However, I'm going to be paying more attention to what I'm going to be doing today and what I'm going to be saying. All right. The reason being is because I want to make absolutely sure that I'm putting across the correct information. Now, being self-aware about our own stress signature, the stress symptoms that you experience, it is important so that you can recognize when outside help is needed. This will also help you stay in check with what's currently challenging you, how your coping skills are working, and what effect the current situation is having on your overall well-being. Now, under healthy circumstances, okay, it'll be your normal mood, fluctuations, calm, takes things in stride. That's good. Attitude, good sense of humor, performing well, in control mentally. Sleep, normal sleep patterns. Physical health, well with good energy levels. Activity, socially active. I mean, and habits, limited alcohol use, drug use, whatever. Okay, we're not going to go into the alcohol and drug use, right? Because a lot of guys sometimes look for an answer at the bottom of a bottle. And as this is a somewhat serious topic today, I would appreciate if you guys, respect that, please. Reacting. Now, the next one is reacting. Okay, so the mood, irritable, impatient, nervous, overwhelmed. Attitude, displaced, sarcasm, forgetfulness, procrastination. Sleep, trouble sleeping. Physical, low energy, muscle tension, headaches. Activity, decreased activity and socializing. Habits, regular but controlled alcohol use, increased reliance on smoke and caffeine. Short-term coping strategies with increased negativity consequences, i.e. hangovers, physical efforts. Well, I've been accused of that, but yeah, no, I don't drink alcohol, and I do smoke. I do intake a lot of fucking caffeine, but I do exercise. So, and this is the thing. A lot of people go, oh yeah, I'm reacting, or I'm injured, or I'm ill. Right? No. Right? This is what they call a pilot setting. Right? Injured, mood, angry, anxious, feeling hopeless, tearful. Attitude, negative attitude, poor performance or workaholic. Poor concentration, easily distracted. Extra sensitive to criticism. Sleep, restless, disturbed. Physical health, increased fatigue, aches and pains, frequent colds, infections, weight loss and gain. Activity, avoidance, withdrawal. Habits, increased reliance on alcohol, hard to control, abstinence, or whatever. Okay. Now comes the worst one. Ill. Ill. Mood, angry outbursts, aggression, tearful, excessive anxiety, panic attacks, depression, suicidal thoughts. Attitude, insubordination, can't perform duties, can't concentrate. Sleep, not being able to fall asleep or stay asleep. Physical, constant fatigue, physical illness. Lack of engagement, isolation. That's activity and physical health. Habits, alcohol use very frequent with severe consequences. 1 second. So I'm just responding to someone. Oh. Now, before I carry on, okay, there is a number if you feel you need to talk to someone. You've got the Samaritans, and you've also got an NHS contact number. Okay, the Samaritans number. 1 second, is 116123. Okay, that's 116123. I'll say that one more time. For the Samaritans, it is a 116123. Okay, and if you need to talk to anyone with the all right, you've got the NHS, which is 111. Samaritans, 116123. Then you got Calm, which is 08000 585858. Papyrus, that's for the youngsters. Okay, you've got 0800 068 4141. And obviously, Childline, 0800 1111. And then you got SOS, which is 0808 115 1505. This is all for the UK. Okay. All right. So if you need those numbers again, please ask, and I'll be more than happy to get them to you. 1 second, please. 1 second, please. 1 second. And if anyone, please, if you know the numbers for the helplines over the United States, just please DM them to me or post them in here, or post a link to, the hotline, and I will pin them to the top. Okay. Now, going back. Going back. Now, you have to understand, okay, that this is not just healthy, reacting, injured, and ill. Right? You have to look at the left-hand side of the column and then the top right-hand side. So you're going down: mood, attitude, sleep, physical health, activities, habits. And then you go from there. It could be health. You could have a couple in health, one in injured, one in reacting, one in ill. In the old days, everyone used to drink. All right? Everyone used to drink. And a lot of people smoked. So And a lot of people drank coffee because the thing is, you needed that pickup, you needed that energy boost. What else have we got? And that's basically it. And this here came out of People's Purpose International Innovation. Right, and that's from the MOD. That's from the British Army. That came out in 2019. I have others from before that, but it wasn't as bad as it is now today, with the mental health labeling, people labeling themselves. Now, you think that the British Army, BCDT, the battlefield instructor, is actually one of the most crucial instructors you'll get in the British Army or in any military. Anyone who's a medical instructor, a CMT1, 2, or a BCDT instructor, anyone who is responsible to train, is responsible to train troops how to survive or how to aid another battle buddy or someone who they're on exercise or in operational theatres. Now, there's been accidents in peacetime. There's been accidents or deaths on both sides of the coin. Right, and having the basic knowledge of first aid is good. Everyone should go to a fire service or ambulance service and get basic first aid training. I also suggest that you also get infant first aid training as well. Right, how to do CPR, how to do mouth to mouth on a child if a child's unconscious or not breathing, and that goes for an adult as well. Knowing what to do, you'll be very surprised that you won't panic. You'll go into autopilot. You'll actually know what you're doing. And sometimes it's good. And the thing is, when people know what you're doing, a lot of people who are qualified, like nurses and doctors, will then step in and take over, and they will then assist you or vice versa. Okay. However, I just wanted to point out that, no one is immune from mental health issues. Okay. You're going to get that. All right, but there's a lot of people out there who cry wolf. There's a lot of people out there who will say, oh, once they hear someone say PTSD, okay, I've never hidden the fact that I've got it. I've probably never mentioned it that much, but I never hid the fact. And mine is insomnia, okay, and other things, but that's beside the point. And I deal with that myself. I know how to deal with that. I'm a grown-ass adult. Shit happens. But the thing is, I also keep myself very active. I'm on here as well. I'm doing quite a lot of stuff off, away from here. And I also enjoy gaming. Now, just because I decompress has got nothing to, it helps to relax. It's got nothing to do with mental health. Right? Sometimes it does. It just takes away the stress. And sometimes it's good to have that stress take away. It's just like when someone goes for a dump, or someone goes and bangs one out. Or, you just grab your partner, jump into the bedroom and spend like 37 seconds in there and then walk back out and everyone's happy. Or you go and play football, or you go diving, or you go and ride your bike, or you go and ride a horse, or you go into town and meet your friends in a bar or in a pub. That's decompression. You can do anything that helps you relax and chill out, decompress. It's got nothing to do with your mental health. Okay? And it seems that a lot of people assume, yeah. Sorry, I'll just why do people always fucking do this? Now, I don't know across the board. Let me explain. First, I'm going to read what the actual terminology, right? To effectively decompress after a hard day's work, try incorporating physical activities like a walk or exercise, engaging in relaxing activities like reading or listening to music, and prioritizing self-care like taking a warm bath or meditating. These activities can help shift your focus away from work and promote relaxation. Okay, that's what decompression is. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people out there who will now twist that and go, "Oh no, we're using no." People decompress differently. I just happen to use the word decompress. All right, it's called relaxation. You got relaxation techniques. You got everything. Right? There is a disconnect between PTSD and having issues and decompression. If I want to relax, so basically everyone who wants to go and figure out how they relax after a hard day's work, and like the ladies want to go and take a nice little soapy bath, or want to want to go for a walk or listen to some tunes and all that. So you are labeling that as PTSD, mental health issues. Well, that's where you're wrong, because the word decompression can mean quite a few things, quite a lot of stuff actually. But to decompress from a stressful day, from hard work or anything else, right, you're going to chill out. You want to chill out because that is exactly what you want to do. Now, a lot of people here have this attitude, right, thinking that they know better. Oh, yeah, I know better. No, you don't. Everyone knows exactly the same. But it just depends of the terminology and the way you say it. When I say I decompress and by playing games, instead of using the word I relax by playing games, I use decompression. Right? Because when we came back from an operational tour, we had 2 weeks of decompression before we actually came back to the UK. But anyway, I digress again. Now we're going to go into the big stuff. The big thing is, right, are the labels that people seem to like throw around like if it's candy. Now, I did a quick look at a manual which is called the DSM-5 TR, right? And let me just see if I can find it. Yes, it's called a Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders in a Standard Guide for Mental Health Professionals. So I had a look at that, and like I said, I am not a psychologist. I'm not a qualified psychologist, so I can only go by my own input. Okay, so what I'm saying here is from my own personal perspective and my own opinion. All right. And basically, when I put in there, I just put in there, what type of mental health labels do people use? Right. And basically it said it was two of the most important, right, are basically the clinical diagnoses like depression, anxiety, and more informal, stigmatized terms like crazy, loony. These labels can have significant impact on individuals who perceived and treated, sometimes leading to stigma and discrimination. Informal and stigmatized labels, derogatory terms like crazy, nuts, psycho, or loony, are commonly used to describe people with mental health conditions, often carry negative and stigmatization connotations. Implied weakness and incompetence. Some people may label individuals with anxiety with weak or believe they could snap out of it, dismiss their conditions for personal failing. Characterization behavior, labeling someone as LCD or bipolar when experiencing normal mood swings or obsessive thoughts can be inaccurate and harmful. Now, formal diagnostic labels. If you want any insight or any information in regards of the topic today, right, about formal diagnostics, there is a book called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, right, and it's called the DSM-5 TR. Okay, you can find it; it's out there. right? But we're talking about labels. Now, example of diagnosis. Common diagnosis includes major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, generalization and anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsory disorder, and various personality disorders. Specificity and complexity with diagnostic labels can be helpful for clinical. Yeah. Now we're talking about clinical. We're talking about labels that are basic labels. Someone, like a psychologist or therapist or both. Okay. We're not talking about individuals. We're not talking about people in normal populace. We're not talking about in general public. All right. Now, here comes a couple of things that self-fulfilling prophecies. Labels can create expectations that individuals initialize and that can worsen their condition, reducing self-esteem. Focus on behaviors, alternative stigmatization language, depressive, a person living with depression. Right? With accurate, and I mean, there is so much you'd have to do your research yourself. Now, we go on to the next one. In the United States, mental health professionals primarily use the Diagnostic and Strategic Manual of Disorder, DSM-5-TR, to classify and diagnose mental health disorders. This manual, published by the American Psychiatric Association, provides a standard system to understanding and diagnose various mental health conditions, while the DSM-TR is the industry standard. It's important to remember that the use of labels can have both positive and negative impacts. And this biopsychological models allows professionals to consider a broader range of factors beyond the diagnoses. Right? Now, I mean, I could go into this. I mean, so far, I have found one thing, right, that in 2007, right, there were already 250 types of labels to stigmatize people with mental health illness. Figure that one out. In 2007, there were already 250 variations or different terminologies for people with mental health. That doesn't include what people who don't have any qualifications or any knowledge of mental health or anything. The only thing they do know is what they see online, and they take it, copy it, and then they think they are, qualified to actually diagnose someone, which is actually against the fucking law. Because that means you're impersonating a qualified physician, which you are not. Just because you have been diagnosed by your own doctors or you've been diagnosed by a psychologist doesn't entitle you to then diagnose other people. However, as a former BCDT instructor and as a counselor, I only have the qualifications to discuss certain parts of mental health. Okay, just to give people a broader window, so they can see what's going on or what people need to understand. Okay. Now, I would love to talk about a situation that's been occurring over the last few weeks about one individual. And no, it's not the individual you think I'm talking about. No. I've already said I'm moving on. No, I'm talking about someone else. Someone who's easily misled, someone who's easily manipulated. And the other night I listened to this individual for a short period of time, and I'll be honest with you, it takes a lot to make me emotional. It takes a lot to make me actually take a step back and go, shit, because I'm a human being as well. I do have feelings, and I know for a fact that this individual had been taken advantage of. I know this individual has learning difficulties or has a disability. And I know that this individual, is trying to defend himself on every single breath. And it really kills me to actually sit there and listen to what I actually listen to. And in fact, it's actually making me slightly emotional right now. So I'm just going to take a minute. The fact that someone, and this is not now the first time that I have seen this. In the last 9 months, this is not the first time I've seen this, and I doubt very much it's going to be the last time we're going to see it, or I'm going to see it, or I'm going to witness it. But the problem is, this is what it's like. Okay, people will hide behind a stigma. They hide behind whatever they want to hide behind. But just the moment you confront them with their undoings or wrongdoings or anything else, okay, they play the victim, or they're coming out with even more and more lies. All right. Now, this individual, okay, was a yes man, but not in a way, I would say, voluntarily. Now, as far at the end of the day, everyone has made their bed and they lay in it. But when it comes to someone who has disabilities, that's where I draw the line. And yes, I've been accused of picking on someone who had disabilities. Well, I wasn't picking on someone. I was actually basically confronting a person, right, an adult, from all recollection, was able to understand that they did wrong. But I dropped it and moved on. Now, this is where it gets sticky. Now, it's very easy to sit here and go, "Oh, you've got mental health issues. You got mental health issues. You got mental." You don't have. No one here. Like in the old days, the word, and I'm going to say this today, the only time. Okay, so don't get offended. Don't go. Oh, you said it. No, I am saying it because I can say it because I understand what it means. In the old days, in the 60s, the 70s, well, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right, the words retard and spastic were used to identify, right, people with what we understand now with physical or mental health issues. Okay. And then at around the 90s upwards, right, it started to get like people would use it as a joke, and it wasn't a joke. And now it's like you don't say things like that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, right, these words were still here. It's just like the word gay. The word gay doesn't mean sexuality. It actually means happy because it's an old word. And we have taken words from the past and we've evolved these words into, beings. We've involved them into fuck, I can't even. I'm already fucking wound up as it is, right? We are our own worst enemy. It's very easy to label someone. Oh, you're a fucking lazy twat. Oh, you're gay. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. That's us. But when you witness someone richly doing exactly that, what they shouldn't be doing, right? It makes you think that they look for that basically these people are the people that understand the rules and they know how to circumvent the rules in such a way that you can't accuse them for bullying, you can't accuse them for harassment, you can't accuse them for intimidation, you can't accuse them for libel, you can't accuse them for defamation. But the minute you say something, they can. That then brings me on to the next topic, which you're going to fucking love. You're going to like this next topic. Oh, yes. Oh, you're going to love this next topic. Where is it? God, I got so many up. Aha, there we go. Narcissism. A narcissist is an individual characterized by an excessive preoccupation with themselves, a grandiose sense of self-importance, and a need for admiration from others, often lacking empathy. While many people exhibit some narcissistic traits at times, which every single person does, there's no ifs or buts about it. All right? Everyone does. Subconsciously or consciously, everyone has narcissistic Anyway, while many people exhibit some narcissistic traits at times, narcissist personality disorder MPD, sorry, I do apologize for this, is a mental health condition characterized by a pervasive and inflexible pattern of these behaviors. Now, you think, well, narcissists are just sad individuals. No, you can't really say that. They do have mental health issues. There is a mental health issue that's going on. right? And to this day and age, it is very easy for people to self-label themselves with anxieties, with mental health. But and this is something I saw in a program not long ago. A young lady um, basically was bone idle, lazy, and she didn't want to work. So she claimed she had anxieties, this and that. This happened in the UK. I'm not going to name where, when, but this happened recently. And she labeled herself with anxieties and everything else. And because she was around the age where the social services and obviously the police and everyone else could get involved, right? Basically, she got taken to a psychologist and she was diagnosed. And the psychologist basically did his diagnoses and spoke to the parents, spoke to the social services and everyone else, and said, look, your daughter is fine. There's nothing wrong with her. She is basically, jumping on the bandwagon. She's using these easily, because the thing is, you have to understand, it's very easy to label yourself, and people are scared to question you when you do label yourself. And this is where the problem starts, because there are people who could be sitting right next to you who are struggling, who are suffering, and they need that time with a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor to help them take the first steps to get help. But the thing is, because you've got so many people playing the victim and playing, oh, I've got anxiety, I've got this, the people with the real conditions, who do need the help, are being left behind. And unfortunately, it is showing, and there is unfortunately a effect of that. It's like a chain reaction. So this young lady, all right, she was diagnosed with laziness, basically, and she got in a lot of trouble. But anyway, narcissists. I'm going to read all this out to you. Key features of a narcissist: grandiosity. That's a big word. A sense of exaggerated self-importance and superiority, often coupled with fantasies and unlimited success of power. Pure fucking wish. Need for admiration, a constant craving for attention and praise, and others feeling entitled to special treatment. No, not yet. Lack of empathy, difficult understanding or caring about the feelings and needs of others. Oh boy, I could actually point a shed load of people out on that one. Fucking hell. Arrogance and entitlement, a belief that they are superior to others and deserve special privileges. Hey, Big Dirt. Oh, run. No, I'm joking. All right, explanations of a narcissist personality disorder, NPD. Mental health conditions, MBD is a diagnosed mental health disorder categorized by specific patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving, not just being a bit self-centered. While being self-centeredness is common, NPDs involve a persistent and extreme pattern that significantly impacts relationships and functioning. Impact on others. Narcissist behavior can be emotionally damaging to those around them, leading to strained relationships and conflicts. Treatment. While there's no guaranteed cure, therapy can help individuals with MBT learn to manage their behavior and improve their relationships. Interesting. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who don't go for treatment or don't go and ask for the help they deserve or need. Again, going back to the statement I made a minute ago, you don't know who's playing the game and who's actually suffering from mental health issues. And there should be some written test or some sort of test that's counselors or therapists or psychologists in whole should be able to do to identify if the individual does have mental health issues. Because anyone who is suffering from mental health issues in any shape or form deserves to be helped and supported, irregardless of who they are. male or female, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who they are, where they're from, or what they identify as. It doesn't matter. Everyone with mental health issues should be helped, supported, and not be chastised or criticized. As simple as that. Now, narcissists, okay, will always cause an argument or cause a fight or cause a discurrence, and when you actually retaliate or you fight back or you respond back or in any shape or form, right, they will then blame you for attacking them after what they said to you, right? So, and the thing is, narcissists are very clever. Sometimes you won't even realize the person is a narcissist, right? And that's the thing. Now, that's a very good. Yes, you're absolutely right. Counselors, therapists, and psychologists need help as well, because they have to deal with this day in, day out. And unless you are an absolute emotionalist and lack of empathy, anything, if you are not human and you just sit there and listen to someone go, right, and you do that every day, 10, 15 times a day, at some point you're going to crack. At some point you're going to crack. Right? This is why you're only talking to a person for a certain period of time. The last time I spoke to someone was 35 minutes, and obviously I had my runner with me, the person who's in charge of me, right? And as I'm a volunteer, 35 minutes. That's it. Now, at the end of the day, we all need to remember one thing: when people use mental health as a weapon, or they weaponize mental health in any shape or form, it's wrong. Now, yes, I have mentioned certain times that someone needs to seek professional help, and I've said it multiple times. But I can say that because I've noticed certain behavioral patterns with individuals. So therefore, I can say that. And if someone knocks on my door and says, you said this, you said that about someone, about their mental health, do you have the qualifications? I will go straight to my freaking wall unit. I will pull out my certification and in basically embed it into their viewpoint so they can see it. But over the last 9 months, I have seen individual people use mental health, labeling, narcissistic behavior, lies, deflection. I have seen a lot of people do that. I've seen a lot of people. I've even been lied to by people who I trust. But the thing is, I don't mind because I already know the truth. And maybe the person is trying to steer me away from certain things, but I get that and I respect that, right? But a lot of people have used various different techniques and tactics to try to control and try to manipulate other people's daily routine, their live streams and stuff like that. The perfect example, okay, are the crampons. They are the perfect example where you know there's a narcissistic type of behavior. Because if they had any type of feeling whatsoever, they would start changing the topic. They would start moving away from the topic. But because you've got the typical example of a narcissist, Richard Luthman, right, smack bang in the middle, you've got Bruce Matskin, who's always right, who thinks that even a judge or other lawyers are wrong, but his behavior is fine. All you need to do is start doing some research on mental health. And you can start seeing everything that I've pulled out. Narcissism, yeah. But it gets better. It gets way better. Okay, so if you're going to do some research, description and explanation of a narcissist should be your search pattern. That should be your search title. Okay, and you'll be very surprised at what you find. But anyway, we go on. Yes. Let's talk about the next one, shall we? What is victim mentality? What is a victim mentality? Oh boy. Medically reviewed by Smith Bandari, MD, on March 11th, 2024. Written by WebMD editorial contributors. This is from webmd.com. Yeah, I've been doing my research, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not just saying this for the sake of it. Now, what is a victim mentally? We all have our ups and downs in life. Bad things might happen to you or people you know on a daily basis. But there are some people who claim it is never their fault. They argue that they have no control over the tough situations and problems they encounter. So I had to cough that. It is simply always happening to them. Victimhood can be part of a person's identity, but it is a learned behavior and can be changed. It often evolves as a defense mechanism to cope with adverse life events. People who constantly blame other people for situations or their events in their lives have a victim mentality. What does a victim mentality mean? It's not my fault. That's what it means. It's not my fault. Please hold. That is not my fault. I forgot my back scratcher. Oh, fuck it. I'll use the door frame. Anyway, it's not my fault. That is the typical victim mentality. It's not my fault. Someone who acts from a place of victimhood claims things that happen to them are the fault of someone or someone other than themselves. It might be the fault of their partner, family, co-worker, friend, or the way the world is. Oh, diddums. They frequently complain about the bad things that happen in their life. They are reluctant to take personal responsibility, asserting that the circumstances are in their control. It's not a martyr complex. Before people start, it's a martyr complex. No, it's not. Victim mentality can sometimes be confused with martyr complex. They are two similar behaviors, but there are some differences. Victims take things personally. Even a comment or a statement wasn't directed at them. They will still absorb it as if it was. What did I do to deserve this? Is a common question for them. On the other hand, a person with a martyr complex will often go out of their way to take an extra task for other people, even if they don't want to. They sacrifice themselves for others, yet often feel resentful after the fact. Unhealthy coping mechanism. People who have a victim mentality have often suffered from trauma or hard times, but haven't developed a healthier way to cope. As a result, they develop a negative view on life, where they feel that they don't have any control over what happens to them. Because they don't think anything is their fault, they have little or no sense of responsibility for their lives. It just happens to them. Morning, Roy. If someone tries to help or offer solutions, they're often prepared with a list of reasons why they will not work. People who try to help are often left frustrated and confused. Why be a victim? Why do people behave this way? Why are some benefits to adapting a victimhood mindset? No accountability. Being accountable for your life means you're in a driver's seat. You take responsibility. That can be scary to someone who has a victim mentality. You would have to admit life isn't just as a result of the actions of others. Taking responsibility bursts the protective bubble of victimhood. Secondary gain. Some people problems continue because of secondary benefits. Sympathy, attention, access to medication or funds are common example of secondary gain. Someone with a victim mentality might not even realize that they are getting these benefits and often feel truly distressed. Satisfies unconscious needs. People with the victim mentality, especially when it comes to from past trauma, unconsciously seek validation to help others. They play the poor me card consistently. This can generate sympathy and help others. Avoid taking a risk. Projecting blame on others is a key part of a victim mentality. It is a way to avoid being truly vulnerable and taking risks. Signs you have victimhood. I could read all this out, but I just thought I'd read that out. What is victimhood? Look, every one of us always has a fucking bad day. There's always, during the week, during the week, anyone, we always have bad days. Does that mean we're right? Does that mean we're wrong? Does that mean we're the victim? No. It means we're having a bad day. Is it someone else's fault? No, it's not. If it is someone else's fault, talk to them. Talk to someone else. Get a mediator. Go and sort it out. If it's at work, discuss it. If you go home and you haven't got a partner, go and talk. Go and phone a friend up. Hey, can we talk? Yeah, no problem. Go and talk to your friend. Go and talk to someone. De-escalate what's going on in your own mind and your own body. Because if you can get it out of your system and you can feel better after you've actually spoken about it, or you've even spoken to the person who's caused it, you may feel better. But under some circumstances, people have found playing the victim or being a narcissist, or playing a victim or playing these little mind games, right, is beneficial for them. And the only way you can help them is either by ignoring them or by confronting them with what they're doing. Or avoid both of those and just they don't exist. Problem is, though, the problem will continue. So there you've got narcissism, stress awareness, victim mentality. Okay. And now we go on to the next one. Oh boy. Now, personality disorder. Oh boy. Personality disorder. Symptoms vary depending on the type of personality disorder. For example, a person with borderline personality disorder, one of the most common types, tends to have disturbed ways of thinking, impulsive behavior, and problems controlling their emotions. The way they intense but unstable relationship and worry about people abandoning them. A person with an antisocial personality disorder will typically get easily frustrated and have difficulty controlling their anger. They may blame other people for problems in their life and be aggressive and violent, upsetting others with their behavior. Someone with personality disorder may also have other mental health problems such as depression or drug addiction. I could freaking go on and on and on. Now, I was gonna go on to online harassment, bullying, social bullying, and other stuff, but we've covered quite a lot, and obviously, it's only fair for people to be able. Hang on a minute. Right, but before I carry on to the next one, I just want to send out a very, very we're just covering aspects of the DSM-5 squid. I will discuss everything behind the scenes with you in a bit. Not that, anyway, but yeah. Right. This is a very serious message. Okay. Basically, if you have suicidal thoughts or any thoughts to harm yourself, please don't. Please contact someone. If you are here in the UK, here are the following numbers. For the NHS, it is 111. They are 24 hours a day. For the Samaritans, it is 116 123. For Campaign Against Living Miserably, 0800 585858. Right, from 5 p.m. to midnight every day. Paper us, 0800 068 4141. Right, that's a 24-hour. And then obviously Childline, 0800 1111. And last is SOS Science, is 0808 115 1505. Before I call it a day on the stream, if you want any of those numbers and you're from the UK and you just want to write them down, or you just want to keep them handy for other people, or you want to give them to someone, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to read them out again. So I'm going to keep them for, or shout. You can text shout to 85258. They help you as well. All right. Or you can call your GP. But obviously the other phone numbers are 0800 numbers, and they are free of charge. So yeah. Now over in the States, okay, it's 988 Lifeline. Okay, if you need to talk to someone because you've got a crisis in life or something else, or God forbid, okay, please talk to someone. Pick that phone up, dial 988 Lifeline, and call and talk to them. Okay, right, and that goes for anyone in the UK. Okay, and in Europe, you just call the ambulance or police. Right, there's always someone who's on the other end who will listen to you, and they will try their best to help you and support you. Right, so don't think that you're alone. You're not. All right. And I just want a big shout out to AmoGo for getting me the American version of that. So I appreciate that. All right. And then basically when you do dial 988 Lifeline, all right, press 1. Select 1. Okay. All right. Also, there's also one for US vets. Okay, that's a good point, actually. One second. Where's it? There you go. I need to find the right. And something else. If you need to talk to someone and you are a veteran from the UK, right, then you can dial 0800 138 1619. I'll give you that number again. 0800 138 1619. All right, and that will put you in contact with Combat Stress. Okay, and they are the people that will talk to you. Okay, they are there 24/7. And if they're not there, right, just keep trying. All right, never give up. Never surrender. Never give up. All right, now you've got in regards of 988, right, and then you select 1. You can also go text, send a SMS, a text message. And that number for that text message is 838 255. I'll say again, 838 255. If you need any of these numbers in any of them, right, please do not hesitate to ask. Okay, I will be putting this information in the description at the end of this stream. So basically it will be there. Okay, and everybody and anybody, right, remember, all you need to do is talk. All you need to do is phone someone up and talk. Yeah, and then also recognize who is a narcissist and who is playing the victim. And unfortunately, because of this mentality of some people these days, it is very hard to distinguish the difference between someone really do having a mental health issue and someone who's just playing a mental health issue. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to make absolutely sure that everyone was understood what was going on today. I really do hope. 1 second. While we talk, I'm going to put them behind here now. Hang on a minute. Oh, no. Oh, come on. There you go. One second. You talk amongst yourselves while I go and do all this. Right. Where is the one I need for? 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I'm just finishing off. I would just like to thank Squid and Amago for the information. Right, and if anyone wants to go and have a look at the description right at the bottom before the Copyright Act and everything else, you will see all the numbers there. Okay, you'll see all the numbers from combat stress. Right, that is for British veterans. Then you will see all the numbers that you need from, obviously to help you deal with your personal issues. All right, so there's all the numbers there as well. And then you have 988 Lifeline. All right, for over in the US. Guys, don't be afraid. Pick up that phone, dial the numbers that you need to dial, and talk to someone. There will always be someone there to listen to you and help you. Never, ever be embarrassed. Never feel that you're going to be ignored. Okay? Pick up that phone and ask for help. All right? It's very important, especially the brothers and sisters of arms. We all need to look after each other. With some, okay, you'd have to throw a hammer at them, but that's beside the point. But the fact of the matter is, we all need to look after you. You need to talk to someone. It doesn't matter. If you need to phone a friend up and vent, then you fucking do that. If you need to get shit off your chest and you need to vent, phone a friend up, vent. But please, and this goes to everyone, stop using labels. Stop make out that you know about mental health. You have no clue what you're making yourself look like. There are some of you out there, okay, who do need professional help, who do need to contact a professional and have a chat. You need to sit down and talk about your issues. These issues that you have are nothing to do with anyone else. These are your own personal demons. You need to deal with these. As simple as. And Aussie Jen, Oz being from Australia, can you put in the helpline for Australia, and I'll put it in my description, please. I could really, really do with that. I totally forgot. Yeah, so yeah. There are people out there who, I mean, over the 9 months I've seen, oh shit, who I've seen have their advantage taken of them, had their platforms and God knows what else used. And I be honest with you, I was not very happy last night, even though I was awake. Right, my issues is that I got sleep apnea, and when I do sleep, but I wake up very quickly, very easily. Now, I want all of you I don't care what your opinions about me, but I want you all to just take a moment. What it would be fucking like to receive a phone call from someone who needed help. Just imagine that, just for 1 second. Just take that 1 second. Put your phone down. Just listen to the voice. Just put the phone down and just imagine someone just rang you or someone just knocked on your door. And you opened that door and they went, I need your help. But the thing is, you've got your hands full, you're busy, you've got shit hitting the fan, but you've got someone who you've known for quite a lot of years. They knock on your door and they go, I need your help. And you know what? Squid survey. But be truthful with yourself. How many would do that? Right? Not squid, ammo goal, sorry. Right? Here's the thing. Yeah. Gail, we're talking about mental health today, not courts. Thank you. Now, but then again, I mean, some of these court cases, some of these unaliving court cases, and that, it makes you think, doesn't it? It really does make you think. I mean, some of the way people are behaving. Excuse me a second. I mean, the way it's going. I mean, some parts of the communities think that they can get away with blue murder by just throwing a wobbly. Other members of the community think that they can say and do what they like because of their ideology or whatever. But no one thinks about the people who are actually afraid of everything, who don't understand anything. You know, it's a shame that humanity is coming to such a level of de-evolution. We haven't become cleverer or smarter or nicer or thoughtful or appreciative, we've gone back in evolution. And if we continue on the route that we are, all right, if we continue on the way we are going, and we continue to allow this thing to happen, and we continue to allow people to abuse and use a system, platforms, where does it stop? Where does it stop? I mean, let's be honest with you. I'm not here to listen to people's sob stories. But the thing is, I will sit here, and if someone has a bad day or they're having a bad day, right, I will listen to them. And if I can help them have a better day, then I'll try. I will try my best. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to cost me anything. And this is where people make the mistakes. They take my kindness for weakness. But let me make something absolutely sure that you understand. Right? I don't mind saving life. I don't mind applying first aid, and I don't mind helping people out when they're stressed out and everything else. But I am one person with not to fuck. I don't give quarter, and I will not stop until my resolve is done. I don't need to act narcissistic. I don't have to act crazy. These are facts. Now, what I saw last night and what I have been seeing over the last 8-9 months, regardless if you're American or not, regardless if you like me or not, regardless if you believe me, what I say or not, I don't give a shit. But I think that some people need to take a long look in the mirror. And remember that all you are being is stereotypical of the majority that is giving everybody a bad name. Okay, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what background you're from. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter jack. What matters is your actions. And your actions are only building or digging a deeper hole. Now, I care about humanity. I care about humans. Even if I don't like them, I still care about, because they're human beings. People make mistakes. And if you can't help someone because they make mistakes, you can always point them in the right direction to get that help they need. Which then brings me on to the next topic. Service animals. Like I just mentioned earlier on, that guy on the farm has actually got a horse as a fucking emotional support animal. Now, I got asked this question last night, and I also got this asked a few months back, because I actually blocked someone by mistake, and I saw the message, and I read the message last night, and I was like, oh shit. Hi, Marlon. And I thought, you know what? My apologies. I'm not going to name the individual, because that individual now does really hate me. I don't know if it's because, being Welsh, being British, being fucking a part of Europe, or I don't know. But shit happens. So there was a couple of questions, and last night I was also asked about the difference between a service animal and a emotional animal. Okay, so I did the research, and I am going to bring this up, right? And I don't think a lot of people are going to like this. Get rid of that advert. Thank you very much. Okay, know the difference. Service dogs, emotional support animals, and more. It takes a special dog to be an expert trained service dog. The Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, can help you know the difference. A service dog is a dog that has been individually trained to perform work or tasks to assist a person with disabilities. An animal who provides comfort doesn't qualify as service dog under the ADA. Only service dogs and their handlers are allowed in public places where pet dogs aren't allowed. There are other types of dogs you may have seen that aren't service dogs. Facility dogs are highly trained in specific tasks to assist professionals working in healthcare, rehabilitation, criminal justice, or educational settings. However, facility dogs aren't permitted in public except in the facility where they work and improve clients' outcome. For example, there's a prison somewhere in the United States that has allowed dogs and cats. And it has, and this has been proven, factually proven, even the hard-nailed criminals have become fucking really nice people, you know? They're not bombing each other no more. But well, I don't know. But there's a change in attitude, and animals do naturally calm people. You know, right? Then you got therapy dogs, are pets that have been certified to visit and provide comfort and joy to people who need it. Therapy dogs aren't allowed in public places except where they are providing pet therapy, such as if you've got a child or you've got children or an adult who is paraplegic or disabilities and can't move, is bedridden or something like that. The therapy dogs are the type of dogs, and also lights. That you've got music, you've got lights, you've got therapy dogs, you know, and exercise and all that. And it's absolutely fantastic. And you know what? I would love to experience that just for one day, just to see how it feels or what it's like to experience that type of sensory overload, so to speak. For us, it may be a sensory overload. For people with these issues or with these disabilities, it would probably just be something like very normal. Oh, bless, honey, that's a nice name. Right, and then you've got emotional support animals, are pets that help people with disabling mental health disorders feel confident, and calm. They're not trained in tasks and don't have the right to gain into public, unlike service dogs. This is from the ADA. Right, let's move into this. Why does this matter? When untrained pets or poorly trained service or emotional support dogs are in public places, where they aren't allowed, it has a real impact on people with disabilities and the trained service dogs they rely on independence. All right, 93% of service dog users have encountered poorly trained dogs. 79% had an uncontrolled dog snap at bite or bark at or interfere with their service dog. 80% report that poorly trained dogs have negatively impacted independence and quality of life. This is from the website, Canine Companions. Right? And by the looks of it, National Service Dog Month, the service dogs, okay. And this is interesting. I mean, I was quite surprised to find this, actually. Yeah, very interesting. Right, so there is a big difference between a service dog. Okay, so I just thought and this is not a dig at anybody. This is something that was brought up a while back, and I'm only respecting the request. So I did. Fuck it, why not? All right. Now, obviously, you know, some people have I don't know what the law is over in the States. All right, but I do know the difference between a service dog and a non-service dog. Right? Because the service dog is fucking, they spend a lot of money on training a service dog. It's just like an old police dog or an old war dog. You have to take them through months and months of rehab, right, for them to transition from the bitey, snarly, foamy, fucking dog to a dog, right? So you have to take them from a dog that just wants your spine to a dog that lays on his back and goes, "This is my home," but still has the tendency to, like, if you need that dog to protect you, it will, because you can never get rid of the training, right? And the reason I know that is because I do. Yeah. Hence why, come and break into my house. You think that I've only spoke about my cat? Yeah. Well, I gave away a little bit there, haven't I? But hey, try it. I won't call the police for at least 10 minutes. The reason being is because by the time when I'm chasing you, it's going to take me at least 5 minutes to get back to the house. And, there'll be 6 legs coming after you, not just 2. So anyway, so don't break in my house, please. Please, please. So much hassle. And then I have to clean everything up. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, but can I take that dog into the public? Can I take that dog for a walk in public? Yes, I can. But can I take that dog? Can I take my dog into a public place? No, I can't. My dog is not trained. Well, he is trained to search. He's trained other stuff. But my dog is not trained to go into and sort of hang around in a public place because he is not a service dog. Oh, Julia, service dogs are not cheap, my darling. They are not cheap, and you have to go through a process. That I can assure you of. And it took me, probably year and a half, 2 years to get mine here. I'm not going to give his name because, and plus you have to speak Belgium to him as well. And I can't speak Belgium, so I'm teaching him German right now. Anyway, now, I don't care if you use an animal to, but it's a borderline. It's a borderline. Emotional, and a severe set of facilities and a therapy. Now, say for example, like a young child. Where was it? There was a few years ago. We went to a establishment for disabled children because they, we were doing a big thing, and it was like Star Wars related, and it was like army related, and everything else. And we did a big thing, and we had children in wheelchairs, paraplegic. I mean, disability, non-verbal, verbal, and I mean, me personally, I had a blast. I thought it was fantastic. These kids have more fun than any one of us sitting here right now. Those kids would have so much fun. And they were having fun. I mean, you literally go hi and then just start giggling at you. And it puts an instant smile on your face because they're just drooling and giggling and they grab it. And I swear to God, the grip they've got. Jesus. I had one grab my wrist and I thought it was going to snap. They have got such a strong grip. But they were really happy. And it was a natural happiness. It was a natural smile. And this is fantastic. And that's what therapy dogs are for. Right, therapy dogs, they're there to give that child or that adult that moment of, hey, you're not on your own here. Lick, kiss, rough, and it's fantastic. It is just absolutely fantastic. And I believe that every child should have the experience of experiencing that. It's just fantastic. But anyway, and facility dogs, yeah. I mean, Squid said they had a facility dog, and I mean, I went into it, oh God, when was it? Years ago? Oh no, it was a while back, wasn't it? A couple of years ago? Yeah, scared the shit out of me. I walked into the boss's office, and I was going to put my tabs together and bang one up and give him the proper, good morning, sir, you dick. And I went in, and all I heard was like, and I swear to God, if you wanted to see a dump of poo that was instant, that's what happened to me. That freaking dog. He didn't tell me that he got himself a new puppy, and this freaking thing was a tank. It wasn't a dog, it was a tank. He just basically took the body of a dog and put it on a small tank. And I just bricked it. But the loveliest animal you come across. And then when his wife and kids walked in, his kids were all over him like fucking flies to shit. And this dog just stood there and went, yeah, what are you going to do about it? These kids are mine. And I was like, yep. Yeah. And the thing is, people don't realize it is the person who's responsible for the behavior of a dog. A dog is a predator, right? He will chase or growl at anything. You are the responsible to teach that dog the difference between right and wrong. But when it comes to these dogs, they are trained professionally by people who are professional and have been trained themselves, who have experience. Some of these people who train service dogs are actually on the receipt of having a service dog. So they know what people need. pardon me, excuse me. So I'm not muting today. I don't give a fuck. All right. If you don't like it, yeah, walk away 5 minutes, calm yourself down, come back and smile. But there you go. There's the difference between a service dog, a facilities animal, a therapy dog, and an emotional support dog. I hope, and hang on a minute, 1 second. And here you go. Here is the link. Here is the link for said website. Yeah. Oh, I tell you one thing, those two dogs at the front, oh, brilliant. Wait, you're offended? Why are you offended? Give me a reason why you're offended. Is it because you're such a nice person? Right. So I am also going to add, the link in here. All right. Because it's only fair. Might as well. God, my description is very long today, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? So much information. So much to know. And there you go. Right. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go for a quick intermission, and you're going to listen to a new song. Where is it? Where's that new song? What the fuck? Where's that new song? Ah, is that a new one? Is it? Wait, what? Oh, okay. Let me see if this is the new song. Oh, yeah, this is the new song. So enjoy. What? Hang on a minute. Let me start.
They go live every night selling drama on demand with crampons sitting on their ass and dicky on hand.
Wait a second. Right. Let me just get my shit together. So I hope that everyone is okay. And again, a big shout out to JK Films. This guy is a freaking. I tell you one thing, Rattis. He's giving you a run for your money, buddy. He's giving you a run for your money. Ooh, yeah. But guys, here comes the tune. And what the hell's this? Oh, so here comes the tune. This is the new one. So the Luther one is about to get yeeted, and here comes the new one. So enjoy. And this is from JK.
They go live every night selling drama on demand with crampons sitting on their ass and dicky on hand. Fake tears falling, oh I'm just speaking truth, while they pocket super chats and explode. But he's stirring up heat, breaking all the rules. Hate and it flips on the light. Yeah, says the situation at hand. Spawn trooper. Then he say the words, truth don't kneel to no one man. Spawn trooper. The force is weak with this one. Deuces in the mix, spinning lies for the stream. He acts like a king, but his throne's just a meme. Dodging all the questions with a scripted phrase, trying to fool the crowd, but he's just a face. Bones Lacker's got a seat at the front of the show, putting up a front, but got nowhere to go. Guano's hiding in shadows, throwing shade in the chat. They all act tough, but Spawn Trooper's on that. Spawn Trooper. He bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper. Yeah, says the situation at hand. Weak with this one. Now the people rise, no longer blind. The lies unravel one stream at a time. Truth's not merch, it don't come in packs. And Spawn Troopers got receipts, not just attacks. He says turn off the feed, walk into the sun. This war for your mind, it's already begun. With clarity blazing like a saber so bright, he leads the way through the digital night.
Spawn troopers say.
I see you playing, keeping up the show, spinning your stories, but the truth starts to flow. Your gators pull high like you're some kind of lord, but all you're doing striking out with the faulty sword. You're no warrior, just a puppet on strings. Your fake crown don't mean a thing. The game's up now, you're out of move. Spawn troopers here to expose your grunt trooper. He bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn trooper. He assesses the situation at hand. Spawn trooper. Then he say the words, truth don't kneel to no one man. Spawn trooper. The force is weak with this one.
Truth will rise in the end, no place for deceit.
May grim unwind, get a whole group on. The force is weak with this whole bunch.
Of course I'm okay, Dave. Thank you very much for asking. I'm good. I am very good, in fact. You know, sometimes you just have to, you know, chillax, really. You get me? So let's have a chat, shall we? Let's talk about all the... Oh, got a cough. I mean, let's talk about all the good stuff. So, yeah, it looks like certain things are starting to come to it. Considering that oh, that's good going, Squid. A kilo, that's not easy. Are you doing your water, drinking your water on a daily, like your minimum 2 litres? Because that helps as well. I think Peanut likes the music. She stopped in her tracks to find where the sound was coming from. Oh, nice. Do you know, I'm glad that people don't waste their money on me. I'm glad I don't get memberships from people. You know. Well, I've made a new friend. Well, I've subscribed to a new friend, Valhalla. That's a good guy. He's funny. So many nice people. I went into What You Doing, Willis, with Travis and Julia last night. And they had questions on American motor industry and that. And I only got 4, right? Oh, on a technicality though. Yeah, it's good to see them. They're having fun, and they had a deer in the background as well. That there just shows you the type of people they are. Right? If you got peaceful atmosphere around you, right, wildlife will come near you, right? Because they feel safe. They don't feel that. But yeah, and I've also decided I think future. I'm going to talk to a couple of people, see what happens. Can you hear the music, by the way? Are you able to hear the music? If you can, let me know. And I think, you know what? I think I'm going to take that idea with trivia and questions, and I think I'm going to do that from now on. We're going to do a trivia night at least once a week. With no prices, of course. The price is that you have the ability to come and communicate with me and talk to me and have a good time. Yeah. Excuse me for a sec. I'm just going to blow my snout. Remember this song? Remember this one?
This one goes out to all the Daffodil Warriors.
Whoops, wrong button.
Murdered Phil from Penway Fan to Port Talbot. Beat up yourself. Spawn really come to mash up Babylon with some.
Whoops. And just for the record, a big thank you again, not just to DJ Rats, but also to JK Films. Those two are phenomenal artists, very clever, and very good at creating masterpieces from nothing. So a big shout out to them. And the only reason I didn't play music when I was talking about mental health things is because obviously it would be very good. And I hope that people, understand that we're all here, a community, right? The community that we've got here, for example, we're here to help each other, but we're not here to solve your problems. We're only here to support you and give you a little bit of input. And, but you need to remember that, okay? And And everything said in this stream today was meant genuinely as research, comment, and news reporting and education, because I think a lot of people are not educated on some things, and I think it's important that we all educate ourselves. And this is one of the reasons why there's a lot of things that don't bother me. I've got friends that I have made friends on here, which is just phenomenal. Some of them are not liked by some people, some of them are adored by people. Who knew that I was going to make friends with someone in the Navy or former Navy? Jesus. That's like an arranged marriage. But there you go. And the thing is, my queen loves them two, don't they, Squid? Right. You two, you and baby Squid are adored by my queen, and I just feel left out. Anyway, but seriously, I hope that you guys enjoyed today. I know there's not a lot of people here, which is normal, but talking about mental health and talking about things like this do sometimes hit a nerve, and I get that. And just because I'm nice, I'm going to play this song as well. Where are we? I'm going to play this one as well.
This one's going straight from our hearts to the boots of these crampons skanking in love.
Here we go.
This one's going straight from our hearts to the boots of the Valley Nine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'm glad that you guys have come. Thank you very much for being here. And we're going to have a chat now. So once we've finished the, I thought I would try it because I want to see what it sounds like. So tell me, Mitch. Hi, buddy. yeah. Tell Mitch, how you doing, mate? You're rolling. That's a good for you. Just make sure it's not downhill.
Slipping through our window pane. We love you, Spawn Trooper. Like a lemon on a lazy.
So what do you think if I had music playing in the background while we chat? What do you think?
There's a tambourine mood in your knapsack.
I'm glad it's going to take a while to get to 1,000. That's going to be fucking awesome. Brilliant. Peace and quiet for at least a year.
We'd write your name on a biscuit tin, crochet your face on a jacket pin. We'd kiss your shadow if it walked our way. Spawn Trooper, you make rainy days okay.
I know I do.
We love you,
Spawn Trooper.
Soft like falling down.
Do you know what I'm going to do one day? I'm going to get all these tunes, every single one of them, and I'm going to put them into one video.
Socks on the line, beats in our teeth.
We are the cramp and sweet and slow.
And we love you so.
Oh, well, thank you.
They call him Spawn Trooper.
Do you know what? You'd be very surprised how good horse therapy is.
Call him Spawn.
Oh, God, when was it?
They call him Spawn
Trooper. There you go. Oh God, I can't remember when it was. A few. Oh God, I need to ask the wife when she comes home. Basically, we went to. Where was it? We went. Oh, I know. I can remember now. It was a friend's stables over in Germany. They went, "Oh, do you want to come down to stables?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because the wife likes horses. I like animals anyway." So we went down there. And there were different various types of horses, ponies, and that. And there was this mare, and I think a couple of months prior, she gave birth and had a foal. And I walked over, and it was really strange because I was standing sort of next to her little door opening, and the friend of mine who owns the horses and everything opened the door, and this horse just stood there. So I started walking forward next to her. This horse walked forward and followed me. And then I turned around and literally the horse put her head in my, in my arm, so to speak. So I had my left arm around her head and she just stood there and back leg went up on the heels. So that basically you could tell the horse was relaxed. And she literally just stood there and I just stroked the neck and it was phenomenal. The peace and the tranquility and the it was just surreal. So I can just imagine what your lad went through, felt like when you done that horse therapy. And this is me just standing there with a horse, and this horse, I think her pregnancy and everything else must have been a heavy one because I asked afterwards, and my friend said, yeah, she's been very, very tired lately. We're just fixing her back up. She's slowly but surely getting more active and that. But even my friend turned around and said, I've never seen her do that before. So I must have a thing with horses, or I just put off a good vibe for animals, because animals seem to like me. I don't know why. My cat's out cold. Typical. Yeah. The biggest trust with a horse is when you lay back. When you put your back on the, you just lay down on your back and you just let the horse walk. Because the horse will know that you've laid back, and sometimes the horse will stop because it doesn't know if you've if you're okay or not. So horses are not stupid. They're not dumb. Mitch, you'll be okay, mate. One step at a time. Let them have a look and find out what's going on. Hopefully it's all positive news. And hopefully they'll get like some sort of result. Yeah. I mean, it's really strange. Like my mate, he's a cop over here, and every time I go to his house, he's got this freaking huge animal. And I've known the dogs ever since the dog was a pup. And I didn't have that much interaction, but like every time I walk into that house, that dog goes from to like just a piece of jelly. She just she's very powerful and very strong. She's also trained as well. But as soon as I walk through the door, it's like, oh God, yeah. And then I just get attacked with loads of love and kisses, and once I sat on a settee and I had my best suit on because I just came back from a meeting with my employer, and she laid down, and she didn't put her body on me. She laid down next to me and put her head on my lap. So I just got a pillow, put the pillow underneath her, and she just fell asleep. And next thing you know, all we heard while I was drinking the coffee, we were having a chat, all we started hearing was like, she actually fell asleep on my lap. So that was, so I'm not saying that I am the perfect person, but when it comes to, I love animals, because animals, they give you, what's it called? There's no restrictions, because they also put trust in you as well. Yeah. Oh. Wait, what? What the fuck is that? Do you know what, paint chips? I don't. The guy. I think he does. I think, yeah, he's a bit of a pleb. I think he's a bit of a pleb. Abomination of, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about them today, because I don't want to mix an informational, sort of like an educational stream with, having fun. Spawn truth for giant love bugs. Yeah. So how is everyone today? How are you guys doing? I mean, Squid seems all right, I mean, Squid is in a very good mood because she hasn't ripped it, you know, taken the piss out of me or hasn't been sarcastic yet. So that's a good thing. But I wouldn't expect anything less from a Navy. But there you go. I know that a lot of people are probably busy, and you know, so good luck on your replay team. It is very quiet today. What's going on? Usually you get a lot of people who like to. But I think a lot of people should do some research and should find out, because like I am now not. What the hell? Oh, damn. Well, there's an old saying, you make your bed, you lay in it. I'm just watching a video from 1984, and I can remember this, where NatWest Bank had little pigs in them, little piggies. And if you opened an account or any type of savings account, you'd get a little piggy or piggy bank. That's what they used to call them over here, piggy bank. And you'd get a little doll, and I'm literally watching the advert for it, and it's fucking weird. But that's the way it was. That's the way it was in them days. The adverts are realistic, but people are now. Yeah. All right. I'm good. How are you? I'm good. I am very happy. I'm glad that. Hope you're doing great. Sitting at the eye doctor with my dad. Oh, is it for you or for your dad, Kim? So I've been sleeping this morning, so I feel very tired today. Well, Julia, here's the thing. When you get a chance, you know, you get that 45 minutes. Go and have a cat nap, power nap. Or just try to stay awake until later on this evening, and then when you're ready, just have an early night. Yeah, you'd be very, Janet, you'd be very surprised. There's people out there, farmers and all that, where they don't have the ability or anything where to put or get rid of straw or grass. I just turn around to them and say, look, I'll take some off you. And sometimes they'll just give you a couple of bales or 5 or 6 bales of grass. And you just let it, because the juices and everything from the grass ferment, and it makes the grass really nice, and it's good for the horses and cattle and that. Update on Mum's place. Arrests were made. Good. The person who started the fire is facing serious prison. Good. Not so good. That's good. And good. But still, Mary, just you, Mark, when you get a chance, go around and just check. Just go and do a double check. Make sure everything's fine. Because sometimes people will say things to not make you worry or concern yourself. Oh, wait a minute. Why is that still in my wait, what is going on here? Why is that still there? I forgot all about that. That's still there. That should not be there. Let the floodgates are opening, ready or not. I like that bit. That's why I keep that in there. I think the descriptions are quite good today. Yes. So it's a bit of a boring one today, and you know, I appreciate, like I said, I do appreciate you guys coming. I really do, and hopefully, whenever anyone or any of those imbeciles or people who think they're always right will watch this and actually go, "Oh damn!" You know, we'll actually learn something from this. This is not directed at anyone individually. I mean, I could if I wanted to, and boy, would I have a list of names. But this is generic. This is general. This is just, you know, and you can do all this research yourself. You can do all this research yourself. You know, no one is perfect, but the thing is, right? All I say is keep digging that hole. Well, good. Name and shame. That's what police departments do. That they name and shame people, because of what happens if that person turns up at someone else's house or address or something like that, and they happen to be a how does that song go again? Fire starter. You know. But anyway, we're very close to coming to an end. So I guess what we're doing? Pow. No, we're not doing that anymore. Pow. We're doing that one. Yeah. So I shall now wait for your devious questions, and I just want to. I don't know. Ooh, itchy boob, and scratched. What the hell's he got behind him? Oh. So yeah, off we go. Ask away, guys. Ask the questions. And for all the latecomers, you know what to do. Oh, god dang it. Wait a minute, that Laura Owens, is that not the one who says that she got pregnant through oral? Yes, I got an itchy boob, okay? Man boob. How is my queen? She is fine. She was very tired last night. So when she fell asleep, I just did the manly thing and took her glasses off and put a blanket over her, and then she woke up a couple of hours later, and she just sort of, she had to frog march her into bed and then put her in bed, and then basically tucked her in, and then came back in here, did some bits and bobs, chatted to a couple of people, spoke to some people, and then basically yes, I have, David, and I'm not going to comment on that. They have been extremely busy, extremely busy, especially in my neck of the woods. Fuckers waking me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I should fucking spit in their general direction. But anyway, yes, they have. What else was there? Yeah, so basically, yeah, my queen, yeah, she's fine. She's fine. Tonsil twins, Lord, got indicated on some. Yeah, I think they're going to throw the book at her now, because I think it's a good thing, because the amount of people she has basically slandered and she's lied about, and the fact that some of these people actually got charged. I think it's about time now they throw the book at her. I mean, not physically. Don't throw books at people. But I think they should open that law book and richly throw it every single page at her. She deserves the punishment of her actions. Simple as that. You know, it shouldn't be. You know, other people shouldn't be responsible for someone else's wrongdoing. came prego. I mean, but the thing is, here's the thing, right? Yeah, and don't quote me on this. This is something I read. Sometimes ladies will deliberately try to withhold certain swimmers and freeze them or whatever, and then try to self-impregnate. All right, even if there wasn't any interaction, any coitus. Yeah, but the fact, yeah, I'm not even going to get involved in that one because it's a rabbit hole that I'd rather see Squid go down into that rabbit hole than me, because she knows a little bit better than I. So if Squid is doing something on that topic, then I strongly recommend you go and have a look, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. Simples. All right. I got a funny thing. It's going to go to trial. I think there's a lot. One thing I can tell you right now, there's something wrong with your aviation over there. There's definitely something wrong with your law enforcement over there, and there's absolutely something wrong with your court system over there. I'm not going to touch base on how people are behaving over there, because I don't want to be labeled as anti-American or anti-establishment, well, whatever you want to call it. Because to be perfectly honest with you, after some of the things I saw yesterday evening, I just typed in, "Yep, that's it. No more excuses. It's definitely the water." All right. Or, it's, they're putting something in the system that's making people over there go doolally, going, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, walk running around going, so that is entirely up to you people to figure out. I'm not getting involved. I think, like, even Sigmund Freud would pack his bags and leave the country. It's just absolute insanity now. Don't talk about going to, no. Bad Squid. I didn't mean, no. Oh, God. Yeah. I meant going down a road. No, I'm just going to shut my mouth. You get. You're a swine, aren't you? Yeah. Talk about fun. Yeah. It is. I mean, but the thing is, when you look at all these other court cases, yeah, about Sarah Boone and about this freaking Laura Clayton or whatever her freaking name is, Owens. There you go. When you look at all these different court cases, and then you look at the line that what the hells, and then you have the addition of the Crampons and Swamp Lizard and Mr. Magoo and Skeletor and freaking everyone else in that bandwagon. Yeah, no wonder your legal system is fucked. I mean, to be honest with you, this should have been put to bed a while back. But it's just going on and on. And then you've got Mr. Deuce Foreskin himself, who sits on a platform and berates other judges and other lawyers and judges and accuses them of because of their stature or whatever. Has he ever thought of actually taking a step back and going, well, it's probably because they know how to do their job and he doesn't, because he's only aligned himself with one type of genre, right? And maybe he doesn't realize what he's talking about. I mean, you could tell that he didn't know what he was talking about, because if he can't get someone's middle name initial right, I mean, the fact that I pointed that out and the fact that it's actually being used on different high-end channels, that they suddenly bring it up, it means that someone's paying attention to what I'm saying, or someone is stealing my content and then giving it to other people to say, hey, look, I think I figured this one out, bam, 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 but they don't mention the fact that it was mentioned on this platform here. I don't mind. I don't care. Because at some point, someone's going to say, well, no, you didn't say that. So-and-so said that, And that's another thing what's going on. I mean, look at the crampons. The only time when they're flapping their gums, when they give it the big weight, when they give it big balls, right, is when there's certain people on their platform. Look, for weeks, they only had a few people on their platform. The moment I mentioned about my voice and my likeness, that was not, I didn't give a shit. That was me basically putting a red herring out there because I knew that people were going to jump on it like flies to shit. I didn't care. I don't care. I'm not a business who creates music or anything else. Now, if I was trademarked or copyrighted, now that would be a different ballgame. Over here in the UK, it's passing out. Over in America, it's privacy policy. Now, because I am not an organization or a business, right? What you put on the internet is what you put on the internet. But that goes both ways. That goes both ways. And the thing is, what you have to also understand is the fact that they use that. And if you listen to some of their streams, and you listen to their stream, and then go back a couple of weeks, and then listen to my streams, go through my streams and listen certain things I say, and then after a couple of days, or probably a day or two, or a week or something like that, you go to their streams, or go to the person's stream who's talking, or whatever, you'll notice that they start repeating stuff that I have said before. No one else has mentioned it, but you then hear it on my stream, and then suddenly you'll hear it on someone else's stream. Go and do that. Go and do some research. You'll be very intrigued. You'll be very interested. It'd be very interesting. Trust me, because I've done it. And I find it absolutely hilarious because it shows that certain individuals don't have their own content. They don't know what to say. So what do? They fabricate something, or they just make something up, or they take a topic, a small, I'll say like a 5-minute topic, and then they add shit onto it. And then they'll add that what they've heard. It's very easy. Why do you think I deliberately say things and it comes back? There's probably 1% of stuff if I'm saying something and I sound very confident, or if I sound sort of like my voice and my likeness are my intellectual property, which they are my intellectual property. But if I cared that much, I'll do something about it. But I don't care because I know that people have to use other people's content or other people's wording to put in it. And I've seen it across the board. I've even seen it on the what the hell side. I've seen it on the anti what the hell's ecosystem. Hell, I've seen people months ago, last year, actually, in fact, the beginning of last year, people were using terminology that was used in different people's freaking Raymond Atwoods, or fucking what do you call it, Heavy D Sparks, or I mean, there were fucking people using terminology, specific terminology from those YouTube creators. And I sat there one night and I was like, wait, what? And literally after the stream, I waited a while and then I went back and listened. I was like, yeah, I fucking thought I heard it. But I don't say anything because at the end of the day, it is not my business. I don't care. And this takes me back to what we discussed right at the beginning of the stream in regards to mental health, about labeling, about, the thing about the personality disorder, about having having or wanting that attention, wanting to, to be center of attention. It's one of those things, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so that's why sometimes I will drop, once in a blue moon, I will drop a couple of Easter eggs, or I will drop a couple of red herrings, and I'll do it deliberately because I think, to be honest with you, it's entertaining to watch other people sit there and make a jerk of themselves. But at the same time, it's unfortunate because how sad it is for someone to do that. And the crampons are the perfect example of that. They will take something from someone who has got an agenda. And when you've got people who have an agenda, who have got nothing to do with this court case, suddenly appear, why is it that Lisa Rabusi or whatever the fucking name is, why is it that she's part of this whole thing? Why did she involve herself? I'll tell you why. It's because of the personal vendetta, the personal character assassination against Jeremy Helms. She hasn't liked him from the get-go, from way before. And then when she saw this legal thing going on between Lynette Preston and Jeremy Helms, she got involved in it. She jumped on it. She went, oh, this is the perfect fucking opportunity. And that's what she did. And then when she jumped on it, it built itself up. Suddenly she's contacting them. Hey, we're going to help you. We're going to get you publicity. We'll be your we'll speak for you so you don't get yourself in legal trouble. Yeah. How fucking well did that go? How well did that go? You see, you need to look at the bigger picture. There is so much that people are missing. Oh, what does that lie mean? Fuck no. He doesn't know nothing. He doesn't know about American law. I know about fucking behavior patterns. That's one thing. And identifying yourself as the PR team makes you liable legally, because you are speaking and on behalf and for the individual who you mentioned, i.e. Lynette Preston. And the fact that if we go back in history and you look at everything that's been going on, and then look at the 180, the total fucking backdraft they did. I mean, like, they richly done the reverse. They've done a 180 and fucking hit the gas, and they haven't stopped since. But look how much money they grifted out of the whole thing. I mean, the fact that it takes more than two of them to enable each other and to and support each other in the lies they spout. I mean, you can tell when all three of them are sitting there, you'll hear one of them go, oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. It's very easy for people to do that. It's easy for me and 10 people to sit in this channel and everyone agreeing on what I'm saying. Very easy. And people will agree with it. Then basically when 10 people agree with it and people are watching it, they go, oh, well, he must be right. No. No. You see, because like the thing is, when there's people agreeing with shit, right, is one thing in a chat. But when you've got someone on your same platform and they're saying, one person says one thing and they do that really, that stressy or that anxiety laughter, right? And then you've got people go, yeah, you're right there. And then they fucking put on top of that, and then they put on top, and then you get another person on top of that, and on top of that. And there you go. There's your anti-what the hell system. That's what they're doing. Because so far, in everything they've said, all they've done is showing court documents that Bruce's gave them. They've shown what? That they built a fence. Yeah, and now the fence is even going higher. Now the fence is over 8 feet tall. Actual fact, even more than that. Don't these people realize the next storm that comes through that town, that fence is going to turn into a dangerous fucking obstacle? Are they? I mean, at the end of the day, they're that paranoid. People are going to drive. So you think that the only person driving past your property is Jeremy Helms? There are other people who drive past your property. And the fact that you've got cameras everywhere watching the street instead of your property makes you think, doesn't it? And at the end of the day, who started all this? Had you abided by the cease and desist that you received, none of this would be happening. The fact that you have been found guilty on multiple counts, not just by the Ohio court, but the fact that most of your allegations and attacks and everything else have been thrown out of court or dismissed for one reason or the other. Now, if you had any type of legal standing or anything that could give you a win, you wouldn't walk away or give up so easily. But here's the problem. You are being represented and supported by people who are taking advantage of you. Now, I don't like Lynette or John Cook. I don't like them either. But they're human beings. And the problem is, which a lot of people seem to forget, there is a child involved in this. A 5-year-old child. And from what I've gathered, is being taught to copy what they are saying. And all you have to do is go to Travis' video and you can hear it. He's not making them do that. He's not making them do that. That is their action. Them two teaching that child what she shouldn't be doing. What you call that, school teaching? So how many people are gonna now start going, oh, Spawn Trooper, you're attacking a child, oh, Spawn Trooper, you're talking shit. Go to the video and listen. Listen to John Cook and listen to Lynette Preston shouting. And just imagine what it's like to live on that fucking street with their mouths every day. Every day. And the fact that the child shouted, bless her cotton socks, she's got a pair of fucking lungs on her, right? Because she was louder than Lynette Preston. But the fact that she shouted, Super Dave, and she did all, I mean, just go and listen to it. Now, and all Trevor was doing is sitting there. I don't know, I have to go and watch the video in whole, but I just saw that one clip and I was like absolutely dumbfounded at the fact that was happening. But it's okay for them to make accusations about everyone else, but here you've got the proof that that child is being not mistreated, but that child is being used and weaponized. You're teaching that child the wrong things. That child is only 5, coming on to 6 this year. So give it a couple of more years, and God knows what's going to happen. Who knows what's going to be said or happen? And you call that teaching a child the right way? Why aren't people up in arms about that? Why aren't people saying, well, hang on a minute, Lynette, you literally got caught shouting and teaching your child to shout certain things. What about Super Dave? He's the perfect example of one of these people who abuses and uses the mental health system. He publicly states he stopped taking his mental health medication quite a while back, and then plays the victim, but then goes back onto his medication. He's not as upfront and loud as and very public lately, is he? I haven't seen him involved in a lot of this for quite a while now. He's been very quiet. But then again, I haven't been paying that much attention to that absolute space cadet, because that's what he is. He needs to take care of himself, his mental and physical health. He needs to look after himself. But that's entirely up to him. No one else is responsible for that except for him. Look at Rain Bone Crusher. Again, sitting in the house, then in the garage. I mean, you know, he needs to take a choice. Step up, walk away from all this, or receive the consequences of his actions. And that's what's happening to all of them. The catalyst were the crampons. The addition with everyone else on top of that, okay, has just made this whole thing. All this could have been dealt with within a couple of months. It would have never went that far. If Bruce would have done his job, right, fair enough, Lynette would have walked away with nothing, but she would have walked away with a dignity. But now that's out the window as well, because the lawyer who said he was pro bono wasn't, because at the end of the day, all right, when documents start coming out, okay, now, yeah, these documents are public. I've seen them. You can only reach to a certain level of stupidity before, like, you know, someone says, all right, lights out. Now, I don't care if people don't like what I say about this whole court case. I really don't give a shit if it's Jeremy. I don't give a shit if it's anyone, if it's the crampons. I don't give a shit. It's my public, it is my personal insight into this. Most of this shouldn't have happened in the first place. Most of this should have been dealt with within months of this happening. The fact that Jeremy got slapped with a temporary restraining order when he didn't do anything wrong, because the ex parte fucking conversations that Judge Grudge had with Lynette, the fact that he sat there trying to make a big name of himself, trying to act the big and tough, and then as soon as a different judge sits up there, it got dealt with like that. Isn't that weird? Isn't it strange? So the rumor saying that, like, you know, Feather and him had a, you know, that they're not Feather and him, the other one, Silverman, that there was a whatever issue going, or what favoritism, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. The matter is the fact that a temporary restraining order is, as such, it is a temporary restraining order. But the judge kept on pushing it. So technically, Jeremy's free, and I've said this before, Jeremy's freedom of expression, right, were taken from him. So why didn't he go to a, you know, a First Amendment lawyer and get it dealt with? I would be suing them on that alone. I'd be I'd be suing anyone in that court case, in that court hall, just for that, and then I'd go on to the next stuff. But you know, that's entirely up to them. But the fact that that happened, the fact that a temporary injunction, right, was a big deal, but the permanent restraining order from Ohio was ignored from day one. And then you got the crampons kicking in. If you go back from when it all started getting out of control, like I said, all this could have been dealt with in a couple of months, but it didn't. Then Bruce came on and he saw a money tag. That's what he saw about everything. They all saw money, 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 money. And now it's got to such a point where no one is talking. Even the crampons hardly, if they talk about the child, they don't talk about the child. And if they do talk about the child, they weaponize that child. What about the child? Where's any type of governmental body or anybody, maybe the the CPS, maybe the police, maybe a church, maybe anybody who cares about the welfare and the health and the welfare of that child? When was the last time that child went for a medical examination? When was the last time that child went to a doctor's appointment? When was the last time that child actually had or was witnessed to have a full, healthy meal? When was the last time that child, right, was seen in a shop where they're buying new clothes, new socks, new underwear, new shoes? When? And the fact that they are playing the victim and they're making out that like everyone's watching them. So why did you only put a fence up at one side? Considering that the crampons actually did a lot of grifting for you, there should be a lot of money. You should have been able to buy, all right, fence panels and posts and cement to do the whole area. All you have to do is go down the tree line, and then in front of the tree line, you wouldn't use that much. That's not 1.5 acres. That's probably 1/2 an acre at that. So why aren't you blocking out the neighbors around you? And here's another thing. Where's the newspapers? Where are the news channels that, you know, were used for the grift in the past? We've seen all them. Where are they? Why aren't they being used? Why are they not being contacted? Why are they not involved? Why is this not in the newspaper? Because I'll tell you one thing, if this shit would get into the newspapers, the courts, the CPS and the police, everyone would be dealing with this differently. Because one thing any entity doesn't like, bad publicity. And look what cheap paint chips and Mr. Magoo and everyone else are doing. Look at them. They're richly writing pages and they're putting them on websites. So when you actually type in certain names, you'll get linked to those websites. And some of them are Google Drives and shit like that. Don't click on anything that's a Google Drive. But how long is this going to go on? The federal case, I mean, we already know what's going to happen there. The federal case, I mean, there's two of them. You know, one right now, I'm so confused with both of them. I'm just watching and sitting back and watching because I know what's going to happen. But let me point something out here. Right? There's a lot of people on the gravy train, right? A lot of people. Some of them have got their head so far up certain people's head asses that I'm surprised they can't taste their own shit. But that's their problem. The fact of the matter is that this is going to go on and on and on and on. It's not going to change. Nothing's going to change. There's going to be emotion here. There's going to be emotion there. You know, Randy Socket is going to put emotion in, you know, Deuce Boy. Now, the thing is, if Deuce Boy is to receive any documentation, I need to find out if he's technically allowed to respond as their representative because he's no longer represented. And here's another thing, right? He said that he was fired by Lynette Preston and John Cook. They said he approached them to let him go. They actually said that. There is actually a post where you can see Lynette Preston say that. And so is John Cook. But he is saying, and he put that in a motion, a document to the courts, that he was fired by Lynette Preston and John Cook. So I wonder how the courts are going to deal with that. And then obviously we've got the sanctions and everything else. And he will still sit on a fucking platform and go on about all the shit, about everything, about his mac and cheese crap, and about him playing the victim. Why is it that all these people involved, or most of them involved, always play the fucking victim? Why can't they stand their ground and be responsible for their actions? Oh, wait a minute. That's actually asking them to actually be real and come into the world of reality and be realistic. Yeah, I get it. And in this whole picture of everything is going on, we have a child of the age of 5 who is going to probably sit there and copy everything that people do around her. We've got, excuse me, that was nice. We've got multiple phone calls to the Levy County Sheriff's Department, in essence, abusing that system, putting a lot of pressure on the controllers, where they should be dealing with other stuff instead of, you know, people feeling sorry for themselves and playing the victim. And we've heard that on multiple occasions. You tell me that some of these phone calls were necessary. Tell me that the phone calls that we have witnessed or heard over the last coming up to a year, the phone calls that we've heard, regardless of how many there have been, that some of these have been relevant, have been necessary to a non-emergency number or to an emergency number, irregardless, it doesn't matter, where conversations have been irrelevant. Because they've been absolutely irrelevant. Because when you tell someone, oh, yeah, every time something happens, call the police. Every time something happens, call the police. Right? You'll get that individual who has a lack of intelligence, a lack of understanding. They will then dial 911 or whatever non-emergency number, and they will flap their gums. Oh, they did this. Oh, he did that. Oh, he did this. All right? Now, when you drive down a road and then someone pulls a pew-pew on you, and then they come onto your property at one point and say, touch my car and we'll go bang, bang. Not just once, but twice. But not just twice, multiple times, being threatened by someone who is deranged or has a drug or alcohol problem, allegedly, speculative. Point a weapon, not just at you, but at other people who has a history of doing so. I would be driving down that road with a camera team on my car 24/7. I wouldn't care if you liked it or not. I wouldn't care if the police said to me, "Oh, you can't do that." I wouldn't give a shit, because at the end of the day, accountability, transparency, and self-preservation. Because at the end of the day, if someone pulls a get out on me, right, and if they pull that trigger and that pew pew goes bang, they will suck on a recoil. That I can assure you of. It's self-defense. Like they said, in Florida, you have stand your ground. But when you're driving past in a vehicle, you can't really protect yourself except when you accelerate. And if you accelerate, what happens if you accelerate and you get hit or you are injured and you lose control of that vehicle? Then the people in your vehicle or people around, I mean, we've all seen vehicles. Hi, AMS. We have seen videos of vehicles embedding themselves into properties, buildings, driving into houses, right? But I don't see anyone discussing that. I don't see anyone talking about the fact that, like, you know, when you've got someone who's been under a lot of psychological mental pressure, like Jeremy Hills has, and he can't even drive down his own road, even after nearly 9 months of like restrictions, right? When he drives past that property, he's driving past, he has protected himself. And if they say something to him, he has every right to fucking say something. If he drives past that property at 1 mile an hour, he can fucking do what he likes because he is on a public road. If he is filming his progression down that road, he has every right to do that because he needs to protect himself. Transparency, accountability, and self-preservation. Because let's put it this way, when you've got people who've got access to your internet, allegedly, to CCTV, allegedly, and are using that CCTV footage for their own content, allegedly, and then obviously people then take screenshots and put it out in the public. Why do you need cameras that are facing the street when they should be facing your property? I mean, technically, the only part of the street that should be seen is outside your gate. If that, I mean, really, you should only be seeing what's outside your gate. That, and then the fact that in the video, you're pointing out the cameras on the other property, but you're the one who is using your CCTV to attempt to entrap someone else, that your CCTV technically should be doing exactly the same. It should be for your property, not for the street. At the end of the day, you can't uproot a tree, or you can try to put a camera in such a way that it faces the entrance. But have you, at any time, at the beginning, just a couple of times, have you seen any footage from any of those cameras continuously, from those cameras from TubeTap? No, I haven't. I've seen a few, but I haven't seen nearly all the time. Whereas from that side, I've seen it all the time. All the time. But there you go. So you have to remember that, like, if you want to bake your cake, sometimes when you bake a shit cake, you'd have to try it yourself. And the fact that you cry wolf, and now you've put even more sails on your fence. You're not just going to make that top heavy, but the first thing that comes through, a gust any stronger than a normal bit of wind, right? It's going to rip that fence apart. So all the money that people have donated to get you that freaking fence is going to go out the window. It's going to be a waste. So you're going to have a lot of, at least one thing. You're not going to freeze in the winter because you're going to have a lot of firewood. That's for sure. You are making a mountain out of a molehill. You are the one who's fabricating this. Oh, we're being wet. No, you're the one one of you pointed a pew pew at someone, not just once, multiple times. You are the one always making accusations. Why don't you just shut your mouth, mind your own business, and let them do what they do, and you do what you do? Let's see what happens. Try that for a month. Try not phoning the Levy County Sheriff's Office up every time that your feelings are hurt or every time someone has said something. Why don't you take some of your own advice, right? Because you are a minister, apparently, Lynette. Why don't you take your own advice, right, and pick up the good book and start reading it? And start looking after that child. And stop lying. Because at some point, Lisa's going to get a visit from the IRS, and so are you. So instead of actually trying to play the victim, why don't you go and deal with your own homework first, like your tax reports and everything else? You know, I mean, looking at that little shop you've got in the flea market, there's a lot of money in there. It's not cheap. I mean, for those Kiss figures, I mean, $46 a figure, and you got 4 of them, if I can remember correctly. That's nearly $200 worth. That's a lot of money. And I don't know how, I mean, like, you're selling the little tortoise, and that's another thing, talking about tortoises and turtles. I've got a question to ask you. I've got a question to ask you. Where are the turtles and tortoises that were on your property? Are they still there? Are they still alive? Have you still got them? If you haven't, who did you give them to? Where did they go to? Are they still alive? Are they being treated? Are they being treated rightly? Are they in a better environment? You know, what about the ducks? What about all the animals or livestock on your property? Where are they? We haven't seen any life signs from them for quite a while. And considering that I'm not sure if you still got a 501c3, but I find it quite interesting. If you don't have a 501c3 and you are a turtle sanctuary, why are you still identifying as a turtle sanctuary at your flea market or other places? Why is that? I mean, can we see some signs of life from the tortoises and turtles? Can we see clean and areas where it's healthy and clean, and that they've got access to clean food and clean water on a daily basis? I don't know about anyone else, but I'm quite interested to see that, because that's one of the things that I don't think anyone has seen, and I do believe some people have actually asked that in the past. And I'm one of them. Turtles. I mean, I don't expect you to get 4 of your friends, right? And for you to just put get yourself like a walking stick and then make yourself look like John can play Shredder. And then you can go and find 4 of your next door neighbor friends or 4 of your friends who come to your property, and you can dress them out as Ninja Turtles. I don't really care. But it would be nice to actually see the turtles, because there hasn't been any type of life sign, any pictures, nothing. The last time I saw a picture from your property is where a turtle was on his shell, basically upside down. So let's see some transparency. Oh, wait a minute. That's a magic word with you people, isn't it? That is a magic word with you guys. Transparency. Yeah, that's an American thing, isn't it? Transparency. Let's do this. Let's do this scientifically. What is the meaning of the word transparency? There you go. What is the word meaning of transparency? The quality of allowing light to pass through so that objects behind can distinctly seen. The quality of being easily to perceive or detect. Transparency. While transparency in a business and a government's context refers to being open and honest. There you go for those village people. Right. So, So let's see some transparency, shall we, Lynette, Michelle? I mean, right now I could put up a screenshot of your driving license, which is a legal document that I found on the interwebs. Someone must have not must have been interested in you, because there is a lot out there that can prove that you're lying. For example, many moons ago, someone, I don't know who, and I can't remember who, but fuck it, I took the screenshot of it, because at the time I was doing my research, like I do. Right? People say, "Oh, he's investigating." No, I do research on people, and like I said, if I find information that I can use, I will. If I can't use it because the information shouldn't be used, then I won't. However, the fact that you use multiple names, I mean, we've all gone through this before. However, the one thing I do find quite interesting is that in 2013, actually, in fact, let me have a look at this. Let me get this right before we, because obviously we want to be technically correct. I mean, there are so many people out there who like to twist, and they just like to fucking twist people's words, but but that's part and parcel of people who can't even do their own research. So here we go. Now, I here have a screenshot that I saw online. Now, on that driving license, it's and I quote, and this driving license was it was replaced in 2013. Right? And this driving license expired in 2021. Okay. And the address at the time was in West Rotonda in Florida. Now, I find it quite interesting that your full name on there, which is public knowledge, and this is public knowledge, is that you're Lynette Michelle Lacey A. Carriados. Now, a lot of people don't know about this surname, and didn't know about this surname until I started mentioning it. And then when people started doing a little bit of digging, they went, "Oh, fuck me. That is one of your husbands, one of your multiple husbands." All right. And by the way, I want to see some life signs from them as well. Now, this is from your license that was replaced on the 19th of July, 2013. That will expire on the 5th of 8th, 2021. All right. And the driving license, this is what gets me. The driving license was issued on the 28th of the 4th of April, 2013. And then it was replaced on the 19th of the 7th, 2013. So explain to me why you get issued a driving license and then 3 months later, it was replaced. I wonder if people out there should get nosy and go, "Oh, wait a minute, why did that happen?" That's a very interesting point. Why is that? Why would you? And also, here's the thing. I can't remember who you were married to, because you've had so many husbands. I mean, I still want to see any type of life signs from them, just to make sure. I mean, one of them is in prison. But I looked at your picture, Lynette, and it's like looking at a complete different person. So interesting, don't you think? Very interesting. You really let yourself go there, look, girl. But anyway, and obviously we can't talk about Germany, because I've promised that we won't. I've gave my word that Germany will not. That if anyone else finds it out, they can do what they want. But I am not going to discuss it. That is never going to be discussed by me, because I've made a vow and a promise. But 2013 sunshine, West Rotonda. Now, one thing is very interesting. 2013 in West Rotonda, yeah? So let's have a look at something that's going to be very interesting for a lot of people to hear. Now, please hold, your call's important to me. Right, so we got remember, 2013, West Rotonda. All right. Let me see if I can find it. No, not them. You see, this is the thing. When you got loads of pictures, you have to. Is it that one? Nope. What about that one? Nope. Is it that one? Nope. What about that one? No. Fuck it. Let's try that one. Nope. What about that one? Interesting. Right. So basically, this is why I find it very interesting. Under voters' registration records between 1942 and 1923, have a guess who I came across. And this is all public research. Anyone can research this. Anyone can research this. This is not personal information. I'm not going to give out certain information, so I'm just going to say it. But on your license, it says your was issued 2013. Okay, can anyone remember the date? Can anyone remember the date? 24th of April, 2013. Yeah. Well, don't you find it strange that on the 22nd of April 2013, Lynette Michelle Lacey A. Preston registered in Otter Creek? But you lived in Rotunda, West Rotunda, didn't you? And both names are exactly the same. The only difference is, right, when you registered, you used the surname Preston. When you done your driving license in 2013, it was Carridos. Now, interesting, don't you think? Very, very interesting and somewhat disturbing as well, because that would mean it would show you changing your name for why. Now, if you had your license renewed 3 months later, it should say Lynette Preston, whatever. Lynette Michelle Alexi or Lacey or whatever freaking names you want to put behind the alphabet. Let's just say it the alphabet, right? And then you put all these names, and then it should say Preston or Cook. Now, I find it very interesting that I can hardly find any variation of your name. Well, I can actually, but that's beside. I'm too lazy to fucking show it right now. All right, but I find it very interesting that you seem to not use John Cook's surname, if that. But the fact that, like, from your residencies in Northport, in Rotunda, in Ohio, and fucking, I mean, anywhere else, here are the 4 names that you used in 4 different places. Lynette Michelle Griffrey, Lynette Clara Wilson, Lacey A. Bennett, Lacey A. Preston. People need to actually have a little bit of a deeper look and do a little bit more research online to see all this. Now, funny enough, all I did was go by the names that were on that list. And there were 38, I believe, or 39 names on that list. In fact, that right at the beginning, to be honest with you, I was absolutely freaking gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked of how many different variations of names you've used. So here's a question for you, Lynette. And I mean this with the utmost respect. What are you hiding? Are you hiding a personality disorder? Are you hiding from someone from your childhood, or from when you were a teenager, or from your first marriage, or from one of your marriages? I mean, obviously at some point we're going to hear the sob story, but the fact that you done all this should question your ability to look after yourself, let alone a child. And the fact that people jumped on this bandwagon and took advantage of you, like some people are taking advantage of other people with disabilities, right, should be screaming out big time. But this is just my personal opinion. This is just my personal insight, my comment, my critique, my news reporting, my educational input. You've used that many names that you can't run away from your mistakes anymore. And the fact that you've been in newspapers and that you've put your face out there, you've put your people know who you are. Now, is that a bad thing? No. Is it a good thing? No. The biggest issue you've got is that you've lied so much and you've fabricated so many stories, people are not going to believe it. The moment people put you on a spot like they did in Northport, you ran. Well, that's someone else to look into, Marie. That's none of my business. I don't really care. I'm just looking at the factual, everything that people have done and everything, the way they behaved. And I mean, today's stream is not just about this. It's also about mental health. It's about reaching out if people need that help. But the thing is, at the same time, you have to look at the other bigger picture as well. Lynette Preston and John Cook do have mental health issues. They do have some sort of issues. And I've been saying this from day one. She needs professional support. She needs professional help. Irregardless of people like her or dislike her or whatever, or hate her or what, it doesn't matter. She's still a human being. She's still a human being, just like John Cook is, just like Jeremy and George is. Everyone who opens their gob, everyone who opens their mouth, they're human beings. It only comes down to depending if they need help or not, if they have mental health issues. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who will notice, who are very easily, they can notice very easily who can be manipulated and who can't. All right. And the thing is, when they try to manipulate someone, like people try to manipulate me, it doesn't work. Because at the end of the day, I just tell people to go and fuck themselves. Right? Everyone has a right to an opinion. Doesn't mean that your opinion is right. However, when you twist the rhetoric and the narrative to your liking, that's where things get juicy. But when it comes to this, we know for a fact that the crampons have used these two to get where they wanted to get. They have had a personal vendetta against Jeremy because of the Hoarder House or something that happened before the Hoarder House. The whole friend circle between all of them. Something happened, right? And she got butthurt. And the thing is, here's the thing. When a woman comes after you, right, you got to be careful about your P's and Q's. If a guy comes after you, right, it's lock horns and off you go. Why do you think Swamp Lizard didn't do anything? Why do you think, like, the only person who's probably being shafted so much in prison, right, is Richard Luthman? He sits there, makes racial allegations, right, and oh, fuck's sake. Oh, when someone sends a message like that, that concerns me. That makes me really fucking worried. Oh, God. Anyway, but at the end of the day, there are three things we need to remember. The truth, the young child, and not to become emotionally involved in this whole thing. Because the minute you become emotionally involved, that's when you get all the problems that you've seen. Directed at me, directed at other people, right? And that's what you get. But today, we're specific. Today is about mental health, about the acknowledgement and the signs and symptoms of mental health and stress awareness. And I hope that you guys will go away with at least some sort of education or some sort of knowledge. And please, guys, all right, before we call it a day, please, 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 okay, don't bottle things up. If you need to talk, all right, go to my description. Right? In my description, you'll find all the numbers for the UK and all the numbers for the US. The 988 Lifeline is also for veterans, and Combat Stress is for veterans. And just call them. Just talk. Go and talk to someone. Go and get that support. You have the right for that support. Oh my fucking God. Okay, I don't even know how to react to that. But anyway, guys, remember, there are people out there who don't understand and they're afraid of change. But there's also people out there who deliberately try to antagonize and try to do. They play the victim, you know, and they always see everything that other people say as a threat, you know. But it's okay for them to talk shit. And that goes across the board. And this is why I'm saying this. Now, if I wanted to, I could name a list of people, but I'm not going to give them the credibility, and I'm definitely not going to give them the time of day. But one thing I do want to say is, guys, irregardless, the numbers are there. Please use them, especially for you guys, you veterans out there. I know that, like, you know, the moment you open your grob, right, people will think that you're chin strapped, and then they're talking out your shit, and that you just need a kick in the ass, and you know. Right, and it's the bravado shit. No, it's not. Right, when you go back to your block, or you go back to your room, or you're sitting in your room on your own, because now we've got like single rooms, like Z blocks and that shit. You're sitting in the back in your room on your own, doing fuck all. You're not socializing with any people no more. Not in the old days where you had like 6-man rooms with 3 or 4 of you in, and like you know, it's not like that them days. You need to go and talk. Go and talk to the padre. Go down to the WRES and go and sit in there, talk to the other people in there. Go and play pool with a couple of guys, or, you know, just chill out in the WRES, or go in a naffy and go in a naffy bar, or go in a naffy cafe or that. Right? Don't sit in your rooms, but it's on your own. It is buckshy. It will not fucking hurt you, right? To go and do sit in WRVS or anything else. It's buckshy. It's free. It doesn't mean fuck all. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you need to talk to someone, when you go into here's the thing that you guys don't realize: when you're sitting in camp, right? You go into WRVS. The moment you walk into that office, no one in that camp has the right to come into that office if you're having a personal conversation with a WRVS person. That is your personal space. Remember that. And when you walk out and you get some NCO or someone saying, right, what were you talking about? You don't have to tell them. And if they fucking threaten to charge you or agay you or anything else, then you turn around and say, okay, agay me. But I tell you one thing, the service fucking complaint that will come back towards you, have fun. But just be careful, because like in the old days, it was either, you know, jaw or gut. So, but don't ruin your career. If you need to talk to someone, go and fucking talk to someone. Don't bottle it up, because by bottling up, you're just making it worse, and then your personality will change. And that goes for Americans as well. All right. So just remember that. There's a lot of people out there who served in the 70s, 80s, 90s. There's people serving now. They do 3 years, or they do 5 years or 6 years, and they get out. Right? In the old days, you joined up, you done like fucking 12, 16, 15, 18, 22, right? Or you extended. Yeah. I can get at least a dozen people in this household right now. well, actual fact, within about 2 hours, who all did their full 22 and extended. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, apparently apparently I never served. Oh, well. I would just have to go and get some actors then. But on that note, remember, guys, never bottle things up. Talk to people, okay? On that note, guys, I am going to call it a day. I would like to thank everyone for coming. And we're not playing the Luther song. No, we're not. So all I can say is enjoy the tune. And remember, you're going to get the new song, and then I'm going to play the cowboy song. So you're going to get 2 tunes, okay? Because I love you all, and I respect you all. And remember, right, everything that I've said in here is my own personal input, and which comes under the fair use, which is in the description. Again, thank you for your attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please put up your tray tables to the upright position, fasten your seatbelts. This flight is now going to take off, and the flight time will be approximately 4.5 minutes to 5 minutes. So please enjoy, and remember, fly safe, be safe. Ta-ta for now.
They go live every night selling drama on demand with crampons sitting on their ass and dicky on hand. Fake tears
Alaikum salam, Habibi, Mitch.
falling, oh I'm just speaking true. While they pocket super chats and exploit the loons. Gator rolls in trying to act real cool, but he's stirring up heat, breaking all the rules. Haters in a circle, all bark, no bite, till Spawn Trooper drops and it flips on the light. Spawn Trooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper, he assesses the situation at hand. Spawn Trooper, then he say the words, truth don't kneel to no one man. Spawn Trooper, the force is weak with this one. Deuces in the mix, spinning lies for the stream. Dodging all the questions with a scripted phrase, trying to fool the crowd, but he's just a face. Bones Lacker's got a seat at the front of the show, putting up a front but got nowhere to go. Guano's hiding in shadows, throwing shade in the chat. They all act tough, but Spawn Trooper's on that. Spawn Trooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper, he assesses the situation at hand. Spawn Trooper, then he say the words, truth don't kneel to no one man. Is weak with this one. Now the people rise, no longer blind. The lies unravel one stream at a time. Truth's not merch, it don't come in packs. And Spawn Troopers got receipts, not just attacks. He says turn off the feed, walk into the sun. This war for your mind, it's already begun. With clarity blazing like a saber so bright, he leads the way through the digital night.
Spawn Troopers say,
I see you playing, keeping up the show, spinning your stories, but the truth starts to flow. Your gators pull high like you're some kind of lord, but all you're doing striking out with the faulty sword. You're no warrior, just a puppet on strings. Your fake crown don't mean a thing. The game's up now, you're out of move. Spawn Troopers here to expose your grown. Trooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper, he assesses the situation at hand. Spawn Trooper, then he say the words, truth don't kneel to no one man. Spawn Trooper, the force is weak with this one.
Truth will rise in the end, no place for deceit.
May grim unwind, get a whole group on. The force is weak with this whole bunch.
Yeah, 1 second. Oh, shit. Very quickly, I just want to add the Australian one there as well. So I spawned eyes hand. This 1 second, let me see if I can get it. Yeah, let's do that one. Is that the Beyond Blue 24/7 support, anxiety, depression, and everything else? Is that Beyond Blue? Is it? Yeah, that's the one. That is the one. Okay, I'm gonna add this to the description. I do apologize for not ending it straight away. So what we're gonna do for Australia, there you go. And then we're going to put, well, we can't put the number in there because we don't want to confuse people. So, sorted. Right. Well, Aussie Jen, thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it for that. And look forward to the next stream. I am going to start putting up schedules. So, I'm going to at least 1 or 2 hours ahead. I did try it a little bit earlier today. Remember to hit that like button. And at the end of the day, guys, if you know anybody who needs help, or you can pass that information on to someone who needs the support and help, or you need that help yourself, the numbers are in the description. Please don't hesitate to use them. Please, please, please use them. Please call someone, and please, please don't bottle things up, okay? Much love, much respect, and remember one thing. A smile a day keeps the weird people away, right? Or a smile a day keeps the bad people away. On that note, much love. Take care.
Spawn trooper riding in the night, heart of gold but ready to fight, standing tall, doing what's right, shining truth like a firelight. Daddy's wisdom running deep taught me promises I gotta keep, breaking chains, leaving pain behind, calling out the crooked kind. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies, no more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawn trooper rides again. Ain't no fear when I'm around. Justice stands on solid ground. One last chance to make it right, or face the reckoning tonight. In the dark, where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell. Standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies, no more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawn trooper rides again. Dark, where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell. Standing strong, I know